there, Simon Woods for the Fine Wine Network, and I'm fondling my Vondeling. I have two wines here from a winery called Vondeling, and Vondeling is in a place called Paarl, which is Afrikaans for pearl, place in South Africa. And I've got a white wine and I've got a red wine. And I mean, it's one of those places, Vondeling, where they've grown grapes there for ages and they've sold them on to other people, but they really only started making their own wine, I think, in about 2007. So, as I say, white and a red. Let's dig in. First one is the Chenin Blanc Viognier Chardonnay Grenache Blanc. It's rather a bit of a mouthful to get all those into when you're describing a wine, so they give it a name. It's called Babiana. Now, Chenin Blanc is the grape that makes up most of it, 60% of it. And in the Loire Valley, it's responsible for grapes like for wines like Vouvray, Anjou Blanc, which can be a bit on the severe and buttock-clenching side. But take it to South Africa, and it just gets a little bit richer. It gets a little bit more body into it, and so you're getting those similar flavours to how you get in the Loire. So the things like the baked apples, that's what I always think of, and a bit of honey there too. But you're getting a little bit more corpulence with it. Add in the other varieties, you've got this exotic edge from Viognier, a little bit of aristocracy from Chardonnay, and Grenache Blanc is like a big, friendly, it's one of those big fat grapes that has actually got a few stories to tell. Each of them is making their presence felt. It smells like it's going to be quite full-bodied, quite fleshy, but with, as I say, some interesting stories. And they've used a nice bit of oak that's giving some toastiness to it. And the wine, yes, despite its fatness, it's got this finish. What's left with you when you've swallowed it, or I just spat it out. But yeah, what you're left with is you're left with freshness in your mouth. You're left wanting more rather than thinking, golly, I need something to eat to take the taste of that out of my mouth. Not the sort of wine I'd probably sit there and drink by itself, but bring me on a roast chicken with maybe a few truffles shaved on top and a little bit of a nice morel sauce, probably a little too much cream in there, and I would hoover that up. Very tasty. Let's see what the red's like. So the red is called Erica, and it's not a blend. This one's 100% Shiraz, and it's from the 2007 vintage. Well, just reading the back label, it says, Erica is a plant with a beautiful red flower, indigenous to the Western Cape. Well, it smells like it's a rather beautiful red wine here. Shiraz or Syrah, it's the same grape, just different names. It can sometimes be a little bit of a burly beast in warm climates, but here there's some freshness, there's some peppery edges to this is plum and berry flavours, and it smells like it's going to have a hearty core, but yes, with this freshness and maybe even a little touch of, when the smell of a pencil, graphite, a little bit of that too. Well, I like that tangy, savoury fruit. There's savoury? Yes, there is the plums and the berries, but there's also something like a tomato in there, and with this twist of pepper as well. There's a freshness and vitality about it. Some Shirazes can be just a little bit too much of a good thing. They've worked out in the gym that little bit too much and are just a little bit too proud of themselves. But this, while it's full-bodied, it still has got a svelte edge to it. And as with the white, it's got that nice mixture of richness with freshness. Both of them pretty cracking wines. First time I've tasted them, and I'm very impressed. So tonight I think I will be fondling my Vondeling. See you soon.